Alright. Welcome back to Fatal Frame Anime Review, episode number 4. Before I talk about the episode itself, I have been forgetting to talk about this since I started this series just a couple weeks ago. This series, for some reason, I think I forgot to talk about this, so talk about it here. This series is mixing traditional animation with CGI. It's kind of a bit jarring, but I can kind of see the reason for it. It's kind of like seeing like a little bit older version of a cutscene, kind of, where it's mostly for like a little bit of far away shots, and shots of walking is CG for some reason. I'm not sure why the studio did this for, so it's bizarre and a bit jarring. So, the episode opens up with Tokumi arriving at a town which has his famous ruins that he basically is probably interested in exploring. So, he basically is either going to the gate, no problem. Yeah, not much of an issue. He talks to some guards, I'm going to the problem. So, then he goes to an inn where the person is not there before coming, and they show the piece of coin, like, oh, I'll give you a private room. He's like, okay. And then he just walks around town for a little bit. Like, I think it was maybe a few blocks, from what I can tell. He doesn't go far. He doesn't explore the whole city in one night. That'd be kind of stupid. He comes across the Adventurers Guild. And he goes to tavern and eat some food. Which looks like okay looking food. I probably wouldn't eat this. They say this stuff is delicious. I would not eat this. It seems like very little when it comes to food. So, then you overhear three guys talk about various different groups. Like some knights, like the Black Knights, Dragon, some like various different mercenary groups they talk about, which are very powerful. We usually see briefly the Black Knights on dragons, which this one is a tiny bit of CGI, but it's like a small fraction of it. So, and then right afterwards, they proceed to overhear, oh yeah, the local courtesan is basically offering a bounty to people to raid this dungeon. Or, excuse me, explore the dungeon. So he goes there and meets up with Cyrus, the girl he just met in the last episode. Now, me and Whichever say, at that point, though she isn't, when they meet her later, there's no mention of their encounter in the woods. Yeah, the fact that, well, she heard his voice before, but I'm like, Cyrus, you do know this is the same guy who once paralyzed you. And normally, this would mean, that he might try to rape her. Nope, he didn't do that. He just talked to her and left. So, he also mentioned he'd look for somebody who knows how to translate this particular ruin, look for the witch's taboos. That's most of what we set up here. This is something we explored, of course, the books, per se. They do, in fact, find a person in the books. I think in book 3, I think it is. They actually found a person who actually kind of knows where in the land of Monster Golden Eyes is. So they register, and of course Sarah's being accosted, of course, under the name Mist, and just an alias, by the way. Of course, he knows as an alias, and like, okay, so she agrees to help him get some particular weapons for the trip down dungeon. And they get down to the dungeon, and of course there's a similar creature to a Minotaur, and he kills it, no problem. And then we see throughout the tomb, we see various dead monsters. Or something is killing these monsters. It is suspected this is probably the same place he went to with the start of the series. But it's mentioned, but does not really go into much of this at all. And then as soon as he thinks all these monsters are all dead, and then all of a sudden this group called Sabretooth just pulls out. Because they don't know what's killing these creatures, so they're just going to leave without their loot. So, he proceeds to go down the next floor. He runs to Sarah. Of course, they agree to, well, he finds the chalice and gives it to Cyrus. Because he knows that he's here looking for a particular monster. And they agreed to work together, become partners. Oh, he also introduced him to Big Maru. He's like, oh, what a cute slime. Yep. And, well, He also sees when he first met with her, like, she was about ready to collapse. She looked like she hasn't slept in a while. Yeah, like maybe because she's on the run, possibly because she's wanted. So they go down. By the way, he actually kills the guy who caused her before, and he kills him pretty easily. Well, actually, he just paralyzes and poisons him, and they kill by monsters. So they go to the next floor, kill a monster, and they want to rest for a bit. He goes to guard her, and he basically kind of puts her to sleep. Not dead person, he basically has her to sleep so she can actually not collapse. Because he is worried about her health. I also noticed the fact when he caught her, she was very light, implying the fact she has not eaten in a while. It's possible. She probably hasn't eaten in days. And yeah, this is basically the person we're talking about, because she's an elf. End of the episode. I do gotta admit, this is a good episode. I like the story here anyways. I think the CGI is a bit distracting, but this episode doesn't do too bad of a job with it per se. That's the thing with this series, is that they mix CGI with traditional animation. It's done okay. I'd say the worst aspect of it is probably the faces. When it's CGI, it looks pretty bad. When it comes to the normal animation, it looks perfectly fine. But for moving, it's fine. It's like maybe that they were kind of in a hurry to release this. So that's the reason it probably looks the way it does. I gotta admit, the story is pretty good. It's not surprising the fact that the first book took up like 3 episodes, and this one started book 2. Yeah, no surprise there. The books are not very long. I think if I remember correctly, I think book 2 was like 225 pages, I think it was. I think it was like 235. Not very long. So, not surprising that the first book 2 or 3 episodes. I'm not surprised by it at all. I would not be surprised if, in fact, that this season takes up perhaps the first 4 books. But who knows? Okay, so that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and tune to this like button. I will have time to do a comic corner, but I may have time after. I might have to save for tomorrow at this point. Okay? But next video. Bye.